1 o'clock and I'm just leaving Uckcliffe Wood Crematorium. We've just been on service for Alan and June, a couple who died within hours of each other, and we put them together in the same coffin. It's on my Facebook page, that, about Alan and June. So I was asked yesterday what got me interested in funeral industry. Thought I'd tell you. I was probably about 7 or 8 when I went to St. Teresa's school, and we used to play in playground, and because we were Catholics we were next to a church. It weren't unusual in them days for us to be playing in playground and then all of a sudden we had to stop because somebody was walking in on a funeral. Undertakers had turned up, so they'd walk downside the playground with a coffin, and I used to be like staring, wondering. Then I were an altar boy. Yes, I was an altar boy. I know you can't believe that. You think, that's screw, an altar boy. Got a drink of wine though, didn't you? Always something in it, isn't there? So, become an altar boy. And I used to serve on altar when there were funerals. I always thought, what if there's really somebody in that? Always intrigued me. So I've always had a interest, I would say, even from being a kid. Didn't want to be an undertaker then, obviously. I wanted to be a priest. Why did I want to be a priest? Well, I wanted to be a priest because priests have a good life. When I was about 9, I went into the priest's house, taking him some books, me and my mate Hughie Connolly. And I can remember it as it was yesterday, because we walked in one cold morning and I've got this big pile of books, and housekeeper let us in, knows like her off Father Ted. Come in, come in. Put them there. So puts them down, and priest never lifted his head up. Canon McGilly could he? Never turned round, and he says, get them boys a bread cake. And you could smell she'd been baking bread cakes for him. And she gave us a bread cake cut in half with butter on it. Was still warm, it was gorgeous. And walking back to school, I thought to myself, you know, red flop wallpaper, deep plush carpets, roaring fire, dark furniture, beautiful. I thought, I'll be a priest. That's not a bad job. But I didn't think much about it then. And later on I decided, yeah, I wouldn't mind being a priest. So I thought about that, and about 14 when my faith changed and I didn't want to be a priest no more, for 2 good reasons. One, my best mate Richard McNally, who were a right good mate. I won't say we're my best mate, but a kid I knocked about we, and he died. He had a brain tumour. He's buried at City Road. I call to his grave regularly. I was dismissive then about God. I remember Headmaster Mr. Campbell stood up in assembly saying, Richard has gone to live with Jesus in heaven. And I thought, I don't want him to live in fucking heaven. I want him to live here with us. That's not fair. And then he told us that God had taken him to be a sunbeam. And I thought, I don't want him to be a sunbeam, he's my mate. I just didn't get it. I were dismissive, and I think a lot of people are dismissive about religion when they lose someone. That was first reason I didn't want to be a priest. Second reason, I was sitting next to a kid called Chris O'Connor. We knocked about with a lad called Vincent Foster, and we had fun, proper fun, wagging it, going to Graves Park and all sorts. We loved it, we enjoyed life, us 3. Then I sat next to this lass. I'm not going to mention her name because she could be on YouTube, but it was a warm summer's day and she got a button undone, and then her other button further down must have just opened, and she didn't have a bra on. And I remember turning to look through the window, and she was sat on my left hand side, and I got the perfect view through her shirt of what were underneath it, and I thought, fuck being a priest. I'm having some of that. I never got any of that off her, by the way, so don't go saying I did. So that was it. Me interest in girls, bing, started. Oh, they'll be saying, oh, look at that undertaker, he's horrible, isn't he? Yeah, so what? You know, it's nature. So that was it. Not going to be a priest. and do something else. I watched a programme then called In Loving Memory with Thora Hird and Billy Unwin and Jeremiah Runsworth. It were a comedy about funerals. It were brilliant. I absolutely loved it. And it were like a calling. God knew I weren't going to be a priest, so he thought, what else can I let him be? He'd be a crap priest anyway. Let him be an undertaker. Might be alright at that. And it is a calling. It really is a calling. You do this because, not because you want to do it, it's something in you. So that's what got me interested in becoming a proper undertaker, undertaker's apprentice. And I loved it. From day one, I loved it. I don't care what I did, I just loved the job. And then, like, me and Cheryl set up his own company 17 years since, I think it is. And it's crazy, but I'm absolutely passionate about it. I love it so much. Sorry, sun's in my eyes. I absolutely am passionate about it. So that's how and why I got into the funeral industry. First of all, my mate died at 14, and second, girls should button the blouses up. Now they shouldn't. I'm not saying they should button the blouse. I'm not saying like it were her fault. It weren't. It were me that were looking. So can't say no right for getting it wrong, can you really? So that's about it. I love it when you ask me questions on this channel because it's nice to answer you. It's nice to say a reply. I'm shooting back now because I've just been informed that we've got a person who's passed away at home. So I'm dashing back now to get back for bringing that person into care. They'll have got everything ready. They might have actually set off, but I'll be attending property, choose what, whether I'm going in ambulance or in my own car, just to meet that family and just pass my condolences on to them, really. It's 8 minutes past 1 now. I've got loads of arrangements to do. I've got to have my diabetic tablet. I've got to have that 4 a day. Don't forget pre-prescriptions, that's good. I hope you're enjoying what I'm posting. I know it's me ranting. Somebody says, why don't you make them longer? You're only on for 10 minutes at a time, 9-10 minutes. Because I never know whether you're going to be bothered about it, you know what I mean? I always think, well, what on earth are they going to find interesting about me ranting and raving and all that far? So that's why I don't put long, drawn out things on. I watched somebody on YouTube last week and halfway through it I nearly fell asleep. It's so fucking boring, it were unreal. So that's why I only put short bursts on. Who knows, I might start putting things longer on. If I get more subscribers, I might do. By the way, talking of subscribers, press the subscribe button. So like a red thing, I think, it says subscribe on it. Subscribe to my channel and I'll subscribe to your channel, and I'll comment on your channel as well if you comment on mine. How's that? Good deal. So do that because it's lovely to see it growing. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think about how I become an undertaker. So it has something to do with death and women's parts, to say the least. Don't listen to that, Harry. Take care everyone, look after yourself, and I will catch you all later.